For this meeting of Dorchester School District 2 Board of Trustees for January 12, 2026. And so we'll start tonight before the meeting with Miss Cynthia Powell.
Okay, those of you that would join me in prayer. Father, in the name of your Son Jesus, we want to thank you for the opportunity to serve in the capacity of school board members. We do not take this assignment lightly. You promise in your word that if we lack wisdom, we can ask you for that wisdom regarding anything that concerns us. So this evening, we want to thank you for the wisdom needed to make decisions regarding our DD2 families, our leaders, local, county, state, national, and international connections, because we, in turn, are affected by the decisions that they make. We also want to say to the families, members, individually, our school educators, we daily lift you up in prayer, and we thank God for meeting the needs that you may have. We thank you that as we enter the second half of the school year, bigger and better things lay in front of us. So we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I ask that you stand and we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm sorry, I apologize. Totally lost. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we call this meeting to order, and until the board elects a board chair, I will preside over this meeting. So we will begin with the approval of the consent agenda and meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
First by Mr. Guthrie. Second by Dr. Wimberly. Call for a vote. The vote is 6-0 with one board member absent, and it passes. So at this time, I'll accept motions for the election of the board chair.
Mr. Doherty, I motion to nominate Dr. Ashley Wimberly for board chair.
I have a first. Do I have a second? Mrs. Powell, second. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a call for a vote for Mrs. Dr. Ashley Wimberly as the board chair. And the vote is 6 in favor and 1 absent. So congratulations, Dr. Wimberly, as the board chair.
Thank you for that vote of confidence. I certainly appreciate it, and I will do my best to serve. It's an honor. All right, so at this time, we will proceed to the election of our board vice chair. And at this time, I'd ask if I have any motions.
I make a motion to nominate Kelly Bates as vice chair.
All right, Mr. Guthrie has made a motion to nominate Ms. Bates. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Ms. King. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. All right, and the motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. Congratulations, Ms. Bates. All right, next item on our agenda is our appointment of board committee chairs. And so we will go ahead and proceed with this as much as possible. I have had some individual discussions with each of you, and it does, I do believe that we all are in agreement that things are going very well. We have a lot of things happening, and we have great momentum, and so I think we are all interested in continuing that. So we'll go ahead and start with policy committee, and I asked Ms. Bates if she would continue to chair that, and
Yes.
Ms. King if she would continue to work with her on that. Okay, all right, excellent. And then next we will move to our Finance Committee. Mr. Lee, I would appreciate it if you would be willing to chair that committee for us, and Mr. Guthrie, if you would continue to work with him. Okay, excellent. And Mr. Farnsworth is not here this evening, but I intended to, and will ask him if he would continue to chair our Facilities Committee. He's done a great job. And Ms. Powell, if you will continue to work with him in that regard. Okay, excellent. Two other committees that we have on rotation is our SCIP board. Ms. Powell, you have been doing that, and I'd love for you to continue. All right, that'd be excellent. And then we also have the Education Foundation, and this is one where I know we like to rotate so that everyone has an opportunity to be involved and see the great work that our foundation does here. And so, Mr. Lee, I would love it if you would represent us on that. All right, great. Thank you very much. Okay, and I believe that is all of the appointments that we need to make this evening. So thank you all very much for your continued service, and I look forward to another great year working together. All right, with that housekeeping stuff out of the way, we will move on to our district highlights, and we've got Mr. Bohannon up to bring us those.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Wimberly, Mr. Doherty, board members. We've got a great lineup of highlights this evening, highlighting both staff and student achievement. First up, a story. Monday, December 1st, was an exciting morning at the district office. Fresh off of Thanksgiving break, every principal in the district received an urgent communication from Mr. Doherty that they needed to attend a meeting in this room. Details were vague, something about SCAZA giving important updates on pending legislation. It was all the more surprising when Dr. Quincy Moore, executive director for SCAZA, arrived and took the microphone. It was only then that we learned we were actually there to award Bentley Lewis as the SCAZA Middle Level Principal of the Year. Ms. Lewis's tenure as principal at OMS has seen achievements that include a 46% decrease in student discipline, a 12-point increase in their state report card rating, earning excellent this year, and has seen parent climate survey results climb from 52% to over 82% in satisfaction. Ms. Lewis will now have the opportunity to compete for national honors through the National Association of Secondary School Principals. Congratulations, Ms. Lewis. For our next highlight, I'd like to welcome District Athletic Director, Mr. Tyrone Drakeford.
Madam Chair, Superintendent Doherty, and Board of Trustees. The swim program at Ashley Ridge High School enjoyed an outstanding season highlighted by championship success and individual excellence. The boys team completed an undefeated season, captured its 8th consecutive region championship, set multiple school records, and earned several podium finishes at the state level, including second place finish by Nathan Lindsay in the 500 freestyle, Carter Gladys in the 100 breaststroke, and the boys 400 freestyle relay. Lindsay was named Male Region Swimmer of the Year and finished as the 5A state runner-up. The girls' team finished the season with only 2 losses and secured its 8th straight region championship, broke multiple school records, and placed 11th in the state meet. The team was led by Grace Marcel, who won the state championship in the 50 freestyle and the 100 breaststroke while setting a new state 100 breaststroke record. In recognition of the boys' program success, head coach Victoria Merritt was named South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association Boys Coach of the Year. On behalf of the Dorchester School District 2 Board of Trustees and the District Athletic Department, we're pleased to present Coach Merritt with a certificate of appreciation and recognition of her hard work, dedication, commitment to continued success of Ashley Ridge High School swim program.
Thank you, Mr. Drakeford. Our next highlight brings back another moment of surprise. On December 8th, the South Carolina Association of School Librarians, with Principal Vincent Joy, snuck into the Media Center of Sand Hill Elementary School to surprise Melissa Young as the Low Country School Librarian of the Year. This award recognizes certified school librarians who build exemplary library programs grounded in collaboration, leadership, and technology integration, as outlined in the National School Library Standards. These programs reflect outstanding support for student learning, strong instructional partnerships with teachers, and innovative access to information. As a regional winner, Ms. Young now advances as a finalist for the South Carolina School Librarian of the Year. Ms. Young, thank you for the joy, leadership, and literacy you bring to Sand Hill Elementary, and congratulations on this well-deserved honor. For our final highlight of the evening, I'd like to welcome Assistant Director of CTE, Dr. Emily Duplantis.
Good evening. Tonight, I would like to start by thanking the board, the district, and our school administration for your continued support of our innovative CTE programs and the opportunities they create for our students. Esports is about much more than gaming. These programs develop critical thinking, collaboration, and problem-solving skills while preparing students for academic and career success. Across the district, strong programs at Ashley Ridge and Fort Dorchester High School, along with the launch of a new middle school esports pilot at River Oaks, demonstrate the continued growth of esports in Dorchester School District 2. Tonight, we are especially proud to recognize Somerville High School's Green Wave esports team for being ranked 20th in the nation by USA Today, a remarkable achievement and a point of pride for our school district. Can the members of the SHS Green Wave esports team please come forward to be recognized at this time?
Good. Wait. Don't stop. All the moms. Thumbs up, moms. Moms are good? All right. This concludes tonight's district highlights. Thank you. If you're going to make a graceful exit, now would be a perfect time to do that, students or anybody.
right, we will continue with our agenda. Next item this evening is our board committee reports, and we will begin with our policy committee. Ms. Bates?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a few policies up for second reading today. That's GCOA, Evaluation of Instructional Staff, GCOAR, Evaluation of Instructional Staff, the rule, and ECA, Security. And
All right.
that's all.
Thank you, Ms. Bates. As these are coming out of committee, we will not need a second. So at this time, I would just ask if we have any questions or discussion. Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. Okay, next we have our Finance Committee. So, Mr. Lee, I'll start with you. Do you have anything for this evening?
Nothing to report tonight. We'll be getting together to put the schedule for the Finance Committee meeting going forward, and of course, beginning some of the preliminary work as we begin to move towards planning for the budget for next year.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Facilities Committee, Mr. Farnsworth is not here. Ms. Powell, do you have anything to report for us this evening?
Currently, we do not, but things are continuing to advance, and so we just continue to look forward to whatever progress we can make with all the powers that be.
Lots going on with facilities. All right, thank you for that. Okay, the next item on our on our agenda this evening is our public comments on agenda items. So before we begin these, I'm just going to review, just with the start of the new year, I'm going to do a little brief review of our public comment procedures. We do welcome and appreciate public comments, but we have a policy that goes along with those, and so there are some rules that I just want to review. Public comments are welcomed and encouraged. However, the board will not take immediate action or respond to public comments at this meeting. In order that the board may conduct the meeting in a civil manner, public comments should not include gossip, defamatory words, or abusive and vulgar language. The board reserves the right to terminate any presentation which does not adhere to these guidelines. Any person wishing to address the board must submit the comment card 5 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures, and comments must be issue-oriented. No specific names or identifying information, which includes positions, may be used in comments. Comments regarding an employee or a student will not be heard in public session. Groups addressing the same topic should select one speaker. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. All right, thank you for that. So we will go ahead and begin. And our first comment on an agenda item this evening is Mr. Jason Brockert.
I was going to talk about something different tonight, but then I read the agenda, and so we're in 2026, and there were a lot of highlights and awards, and how incredible is it that the Oak Brook Middle principal was Principal of the Year? Those numbers were quite impressive. Very impressive for the improvement at Oak Brook Middle School. That was Julian's principal. So those numbers were great, but I mean, it hasn't even been 2 years since there was a student lost under that principal's watch.
Okay, Mr. Brockert, I'm going to stop you right there. I made it very clear that you may not mention positions. That's an identifying comment.
It was in the agenda, was it not?
Yes, it was. But as I made it clear, you may not, as per our policy.
Are you silencing me to your agenda?
I am
yes or no?
I am asking you to follow the policy regarding our public comments.
And I'm commenting on the award.
And
given.
You may do that. You may comment on the award. Please keep your remarks to the award. You signed up for that agenda item, and you may discuss the award as much as you would like.
I can feel the love in this room. Thank you. So, should I just come back up for 3 minutes later tonight? Or when can I speak about this agenda item, but freely about this agenda item? I'm okay if you start my timer back up. I want to speak about the middle school principal of the year, who is also my son's principal. That's a factual statement. Pure facts. In 2024, the principal responsible for the care of children, this is a fact, this year was named the best that South Carolina has to offer. That is a factual statement. It's on your agenda. It's fantastic. The improvement is massive because have we lost another student? I don't know, because that's not transparent. But we did not 2 years ago at that same school, so that doesn't affect the score. I don't know what the score actually comes into. I don't know if the board has anything to do with putting this person up there, but imagine my surprise seeing my son's principal, who never could explain to
enough.
me how my
Stop.
child's
Mr. Brockert,
bully
I will have
was
you
given an
removed.
award.
I will have you, well, you must stop. Enough.
Can I come back up for my minute 23 later?
If you are unable to follow the policy, you will not be allowed to speak.
Understood. Can I come back up for my minute 23 later? Apparently this is off topic, too much.
It is not that it is off topic. You are not following the policy. You may not mention specific employees or identifying items regarding those employees in a negative way.
Why not in a negative way? It's an
Mr.
honest,
Brockert,
factual way.
please sit down. Your time is up.
I will sit down. I am complying. I was told to sit. I am sitting. What else should I do? Don't do what? I hear you. What would you like? I've been told to sit and I'm sitting. I'm complying.
Okay.
Is that what we're supposed to
Mr. Brockert, you're disrupting our meeting. At this time, I'm going to ask you if you could please return to your seat or step out of the meeting. All right, our next public comment on an agenda item is Mrs. Diana Rush.
Good afternoon, everyone. Given how that just went, I'm not really sure how my comments are going to go, but esteemed Board of Trustees, Madam Chair, there is a quiet fear that lives in autism parenting that never fully goes away. It's the fear about the future, about who will love, protect, and understand your child when you are not able to. It sits in your chest, even on the good days. I have been an autism mom for 12 years. That is 144 months, or 626 weeks, or 4,383 days. And in those 12 years, never once did I think I would be addressing a school board so that my child would no longer be subjected to abuse and mistreatment at the hands of those who were tasked with protecting and teaching, and yet here I am. On September 11th, 2025, I personally witnessed my nonverbal, intellectually disabled, autistic 5-year-old being drugged and flugged down the stairwell at Austin Bailey Elementary, by whom was supposed to be a trusted and trained personnel. My child was left to permeate in his own excrement. His jeans and his undergarments were soaking wet. There is no words to describe the pain you feel as a parent to walk into what is supposed to be a safe space for your child and stumble onto them being abused and mistreated. In that moment, it took everything in me to remain poised and calm and reach out to school administration to rectify the situation, only to be placated and dismissed. Reluctantly, I sent my child back to school. I foolishly trusted that admin would put the security of my child at the forefront of their efforts, but I couldn't have been more wrong. On Thursday, November 20th, 2025, I received a call from the school claiming that my child fell at PE and sustained a knot on his head, only to get to the school and discover a giant bite mark on his back. When I demanded answers, only then was I informed that my child was attacked by another student. I was shocked and enraged. How could this have happened and no one reported it? There was no call home, there was no incident report, no notification of any kind. Only after sending a message in Parent Square was I notified. This is unacceptable. And as a parent of a special needs child, the most vulnerable personnel on this planet, I find it irreprehensible. There needs to be better safeguards. I have more to say, but of course my time is up, and I welcome any suggestions that you guys could give to ensure that my child will be treated with respect and dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rush. All right, the next item on our agenda this evening is our board chair's report. And we will begin this with some recognition. So we received a letter from the South Carolina School Board Association, and I will just go ahead and read this. Congratulations, Mr. Evan Guthrie, on achieving 10 years of school board service for Dorchester School District 2. On behalf of the officers and staff of the South Carolina School Boards Association, thank you. And on behalf of your board, too. You have played a critical role in guiding your district and have invested countless hours to improve public education. It says that the SCSBA is happy to provide a lapel pin for you to wear, and we also have this certificate to give you. And if you would, we would like to go down and take a picture. That would be great that we can share with them. All right. Thank you again, Mr. Guthrie, for your service. 10 years. It's impressive. All right. Next, under the board chair's report, we have the signing of the South Carolina School Boards Association board member ethical principles. So I am going to read these ethical principles aloud, and then we will all go down, sign the poster, and take a picture. I think I might need my glasses. All right. As a member of my district's school board, I pledge my efforts to improve public education in my community and will solemnly try to represent the interests of the entire district when making decisions and to rely on available facts and on our judgment rather than on individuals or special interest groups. Understand the proper role of the board to set policies governing the district and to hire the chief administrative officer to carry out these policies. Encourage an open exchange of ideas by all board members during the decision-making process. Seek regular communications between the board and students, staff, and all segments of the community. Attend all board meetings to study issues facing the board and to enact policies and official actions only after full discussion at such meetings. Work with other board members in a conscientious and courteous manner benefiting the public trust placed in the position of school board trustee. Communicate concerns and public reaction to board policies and school programs to the superintendent and other board members in a professional manner. Support employment of the persons best qualified for staff positions and to ensure a regular and impartial evaluation of all staff. Avoid conflicts of interest and to refrain from using my board position for personal or partisan gain. encourage recognition of the achievements of students and staff and the involvement of community residents, support legislation and funding which will improve the educational opportunities and environment for students and staff, take no individual action which would compromise the integrity of the board or administration, and to respect the confidentiality of information that is privileged under the Freedom of Information Act. Study current educational issues and to participate in training programs such as those offered through the South Carolina School Boards Association and the National School Boards Association, and make our district's educational setting the best possible to encourage all students to achieve and to love learning. All right, board members, if you will join me down, we will sign and take a picture.
While the board is signing and taking that picture, I'm going to read the State of South Carolina Governor's Proclamation. Whereas education is the foundation upon which the economic, intellectual, and social capital of our state is built, and whereas school boards directly influence instruction in South Carolina's public schools, and whereas the decisions of local school boards affect the present and future lives of children while setting the direction to prepare all students to be competitive in a local, state, national, and global 21st century knowledge economy, and whereas local school board members work with parents, businesses, education professionals, and other community members to represent their views and create the ideal educational vision for their public schools and students, and whereas School Board Recognition Month highlights the unique role school boards play in representing their constituents by promoting quality public education. Now, therefore, I, Henry McMaster, Governor of the great state of South Carolina, do hereby proclaim January 2026 as School Board Recognition Month throughout the state and encourage all South Carolinians to recognize the contributions of local school boards to the academic success of public school students across the Palmetto State.
All right, and I believe that concludes the board chair's report for this evening. So we will move on to our next agenda item, which is our superintendent's report, and I will turn it over to Mr. Doherty.
Thank you, Dr. Wimberly. We have several items on our agenda tonight for the superintendent's report. Our first is our junior scholars and GATE update presentation, and we'll have right now Miss Amanda Wilkins, our coordinator of gifted programs. She's going to come up and give you a little bit of update on our gifted and talented. So, Miss Wilkins, thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Wimberly, Mr. Doherty, and esteemed members of the board. In this fall, we had our 8th grade students take the PSAT, the pre-SAT assessment. And with that, we had several of our Dorchester 2 8th graders qualify as Junior Scholars of South Carolina. By the numbers, 8th graders take this assessment. The median score on the math assessment is a 268, and junior scholars must have a 530 qualifying score in that area or a 550 on the evidence-based reading and writing area. The median score for that is 254. So this just shows you what a true honor it is to qualify for this title. Only 2% of 8th graders take this assessment. And just looking at the DD2 numbers, we have to be really proud to say that last year, 23% of our 8th graders took this assessment, and it upped this year to 24%. The year before, 20% of those who took the assessment qualified as a South Carolina Junior Scholar, And this year we had 110 Dorchester 2 8th graders who qualified, upping that to 23% of test takers. In other news, we had our first GATE Parent Night this fall. It was a huge success, and you can see by the photos the turnout we had at Rise Academy. This was a wonderful night, just really explaining the program to parents, community members, and school staff in qualifications, how Dorchester 2 serves our students. In fact, it was such a great turnout that we are hosting another one this spring. With that being said, we also, for those who could not attend in the fall or will not be able to attend in the spring, you can see the GATE 101 for parents up there. If you go to Dorchester 2 GATE, the link on the website, you'll be able to see the entire presentation in its entirety, spoken. I speak through it and kind of hopefully answer questions for parents, community members, students, and staff alike. So that's another great resource that was added to our website. Some featured partnerships we have going on right now are with Riverside Insights, and this assessment is the Cognitive Abilities Assessment. They also host the Iowa Assessment. And this partnership has been really wonderful because I have been able to go out to elementary schools and speak with our second grade teachers who give this assessment and really tap into that powerful data they can use to drive their instruction. Because of that partnership, Riverside Insights and myself have partnered to create a proposal for the National Conference for Gifted Children that will be in November. We have submitted a proposal, but also with them, I will be hosting a national webinar February 19th discussing how to utilize their data and really showing off how we use it here in DD2. And that's all we have for tonight. Thank you so much.
Any questions for the board? Okay. Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Wilkins. And now we'll turn it over. I will come down to the podium. We'll talk a little bit about our redistricting, a little bit for 26-27 for East Edisto and Sires. Okay, what you can see here in front of you, so when we decided to repurpose Span Elementary, we decided to send over 202 students to Sires Elementary. And you can kind of see the enrollment right now is 807 students at Sires. For the 26-27, when we shift 202 students from Span, we'll have 1,009 students. So that'll bring our capacity to 92%. And so when we looked at this and moving students to Oak Brook, right now through the TIF dollars, we're actually adding on 9 classrooms at Oak Brook Elementary School. And so when we move 85 students, and that's our proposal, again, 85 students to Oak Brook Elementary, the results of redistricting on Sires, enrollment will go down to 924, which is 84% capacity, and that's kind of that sweet spot in there, and the 80% capacities in case we need to add programming to Sires and those things of special education. Results of redistricts on Oak Brook Elementary, enrollment will be up to 721 students and 71% capacity, and that is with adding in that addition of those 9 additional classrooms that we'll be doing with the TIF dollars. Then moving on, as you can see the picture there, you can see at the very top that is Sires Elementary, and you can see the square or rectangular shape there. That is part of Sires' original attendance zone. That attendance zone incorporates 83 students, and those 83 students would be going to Oak Brook, and you can see the Oak Brook attendance zone is in the brown, and that school is circled in red. And so Ladson Road will now be the dividing line for Oak Brook Elementary School and Eugene Sires Elementary School. So our proposal is allowing rising 5th grader students to still have the choice to remain if transportation is provided by parents. And then moving on to our next piece is East Edisto Middle School. As you know, we've talked a lot about growth in our community. Our growth is out toward Ashley Ridge, East Edisto Middle School, and Beach Hill Elementary, and Sand Hill Elementary. As you said, we just finished our Sand Hill addition. And also, when you look at East Edisto right now, current capacity is 1,000 students. Right now, their enrollment is 1,042 students, which is right now they're currently at 104% capacity. So our proposal is projected capacity or increase enrollment over the next 4 years is 184 students. In 5 years, that jumps to 236 students in the next 5 years. So when you look at that, just adding that 184, you're at 122% capacity. And every room is being used right now currently at East Edisto Middle School. And so our proposal is, recommended action is to reduce and stabilize that enrollment, move those 184 students from to Oak Brook Middle School to keep the capacity stable at East Edisto Middle School. With the TIF dollars as well on that Oak Brook campus, we are adding 7 additional classrooms there as well. So the results on Oak Brook, the current enrollment is 869 students. If we increase that student capacity by adding those 7 classrooms, the result of redistricting would be 1,053 students and 89% capacity. Again, those areas, when we look at those schools down there, that is not where we're seeing a lot of growth. Again, our growth is out toward Beach Hill, East Edisto, Sand Hill, and Ashley Ridge area. Again, when you're looking at Summers Corner and those areas with the houses being built, I'll just give you an example. Over break, we had 20 new students enroll at Sand Hill over Christmas break. And so, again, we just moved into that new facility. Again, that was where all of our growth is coming from. So when you look at this, this is the map. You can see this. We're using Bacon's Bridge Road as kind of used as that dividing line with the river. We are going to allow 7th and 8th grade students to have the choice to remain if transportation is provided by parents. We would like for those students to be able to, again, finish the school year there. They started there. However, rising 6th grade students zoned for East Edisto Middle School, they will need to go to Oak Brook Middle School regardless if they are a sibling. Because again, we're trying to reduce the capacity right now. They're already over capacity right now at East Edisto Middle School. And you can see that area, there's 160 students there. They're going to be zoned. And again, tonight we're looking at about 249 students that we're redistricting. We're trying to do the bare minimum to give our schools a little bit of area for breathing room, so to stabilize some of those enrollments in those high areas. And so you can see that. So what is the timeline on that? Again, this is for board information only tonight. We will have a parent meeting for our Sires parents going to Oak Brook Elementary School on 6 p.m. at Oak Brook. We will send out letters to those being affected this evening. And then on February 3rd, there will be a parent night for East Edisto Middle School parents going to Oak Brook Middle School at 6 p.m. At Oak Brook Middle School. And then again, we'll listen to feedback, get information from the board, gain that feedback and input, and then we will bring that back to the board on February 23rd. And so again, trying to minimize the number of students and families that we're impacting, but again, trying to make sure that we have room at some of these schools. We do not have the ability at East Edisto to even put trailers out there on that at that school right now. And so I think when we first moved into that school, I think Mr. Hamrick could probably tell you that it was full when they first moved into that school. And so again, we are trying to stabilize the enrollment and capacities at that school, and then also trying to move some students from Sires into the Oak Brook campus, which has additional classrooms as well. So is there any questions that I can take at this time? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Great information. Appreciate all the work put into that.
Okay, we'll move on to our next item. Ms. Meunier is here to talk about Our approval of an agenda item this evening on an RFQ for construction firm for the addition of Knightsville Elementary School, and also asking for board for approval RFQ for architectural services for addition at Knightsville Elementary School. So I will turn it over to Ms. Meunier.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Doherty. Good evening, board members, Madam Chair. Mr. Doherty pretty much summarized everything that I was going to say. Before the break, we issued RFQs for 2 projects that are dealing with the Knightsville addition and construction of and renovations, pardon me, for Knightsville Elementary School. So in your packet, we uploaded the recommendation that came from the evaluation committee for the CM at-risk services, the construction management at-risk services for Knightsville Elementary, and then also for the approval for the architectural and engineering services for that addition and renovation. So this is just the approval for those 2 firms, or those 2 vendors, and then later we will bring you the gross maximum price, the GMP contract for that construction project, as well as the contract with total cost for the architecture and engineering services contract.
All right, thank you, Ms. Meunier. So board members, first, at this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the RFQ for the construction services for the addition at Night School. All right, motion made by Mr. Guthrie, seconded by Mr. Lee. Any questions or discussion?
Just one question to refresh the memory of folks. What is the scope, again, of the addition there at Knightsville, so folks understand what we're approving, what we're not approving?
Yeah, basically what we're doing at Knightsville, we're going to do a total renovation. We are going to add almost, you're looking at 25 classrooms at Knightsville. What we are going to have to do, and that is reallocating the referendum dollars. We'll be doing a renovation project there and putting on classrooms and additions, and then also we'll be doing that at Reeves, adding 10 there. So we're equivalent to about 35 classrooms, which was equivalent to an elementary school. And so this is the big project for us because they do have the Orangeburg Road project that's going to begin happening pretty quick. And so we want to get ahead of that, get our architect firm, and get all those things in place, and also get that GMP especially in place because we know there's going to be cost escalation. And so, again, what will happen is I think we talked a little bit with all the number of trailers that are at Knightsville. We'll be moving out adult education out of those trailers, and then we'll be able to put students in those trailers while we go ahead and do that project. So it's a pretty extensive project, and I know Tina and the team went through a big process, and when they looked at the companies that put in for this, did they have experience of doing things like that while school's going on and we're trying to do a project? And so that's very, very big for us to do and for that company to do because we want to make sure they're doing it right when we have students on campus while we're doing this. And so those students will be displaced into trailers, or as we call them, learning cottages, but they will be in classrooms there while they do that work. So it's a huge, extensive project. And again, we're crossing our fingers when we get that GMP that we'll get a good price on that.
Less of a question and more of a comment about this. You know, when I ran for the school board, one of the things that I wanted to see was for us to get more proactive and start looking more forward ahead. And we've been throwing some curveballs and whatnot, and I'm happy to see this all coming together relatively quickly and pretty well thought out and gets us in front of the whole Orangeburg road expansion that will go a long way to making that a lot more tenable for the students and teachers who are going to be there after these additions are done. So.
Yeah, thank you. And also, when you look at the FF&E as well, then that's included in that project when you're looking at Knightsville. Again, it's one of our oldest schools. Again, we are not going to touch the historic part. That's the front and the auditorium. But we will be expanding the kitchen and some of the things that it's very hard for us to feed students with the number of students that go through their cafeteria. So we're very excited to be able to expand that, and it'll be a win-win for everybody, teachers and students. So we're very excited about it.
All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, then hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. All right, next I will ask for a motion to approve the RFQ for the architectural services for the addition at Knightsville Elementary School. Motion made by Ms. Bates, seconded by Ms. Powell. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent.
The next item on our agenda is about our facilities. Since we didn't have a facilities committee meeting before our meeting, we decided we wanted to come up and talk about all the projects that are going on. We have a lot of updates to give the board, and so this evening we have Mr. Jeff Smith, Director of Facilities Maintenance, and Mr. Tony Souls, who oversees our referendum capital projects. So Tony's going to talk about some positive things here that are going on. So Tony.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Daugherty. Want to go through the referendum projects that are going on right now. The Sand Hill Elementary Wing, we've got that one completed. It's just a matter of some paperwork closeout we're going to be doing over the next couple weeks. Elementary school at the Ponds, we're still having those conversations and still trying to get on the side of conveyance on that. Somerville Elementary, right back here, the picture that was taken on the bottom corner, that was on December the 7th. The one above that was last week, and we are way behind on the picture taking because they started hanging steel today, and I didn't get any pictures of that. So they got most of the steel going in today for the second floor, the decking. We should be pouring that slab for the second floor sometime in the middle of next week. That's what we're shooting for. So it's a rapid progression back there and a lot of moving parts to keep that thing going as rapidly as it is. The next project we have is the Ashley Ridge High School additions and renovations. That's the band room is Area A, and you can see down on the bottom corner, that was the footings that they were digging last month. This month they've got about 12 feet of block on one wall and 6 feet of block on the other wall. So they're also making a rapid progression, and things are moving at a very high rate of speed. So if we miss some pictures in somewhere in between, we'll definitely share those with you. But things are going well on both of those projects. Somerville High School gym, we still have the fire and egress modeling analysis in progress. We've got a company out of the upstate doing that for us. We did have the OSF design review last week with OSF and the design team and myself, and that went well. It was pretty much just informative for OSF, and very few comments to incorporate into the construction documents, and those construction documents should be turned over to OSF by about June is what the architect is telling us. Fort North Chester High School classroom addition, the permitting is complete. The pre-qualified contractors, we start this week with that process. We're going to meet with the contractors out at the Fort on Thursday to share with them the full design, all the permits, everything, so we can get pricing back from those three or four pre-qualified contractors that we have, and we'll start that pricing this week. So hopefully within the next few weeks we'll have the contract in hand, and construction can begin shortly thereafter. On the other CIP, Oak Brook Middle School addition, it's all but finished. I mean, everything is there. We just got one final inspection we have to have with the State Fire Marshal's office, and we could turn that over to Miss Lewis. What those 7 classrooms are, that's fine arts. It's a new band room. It's upgraded. And a new dance room with an actual sprung dance floor in it. Drum room, chorus room, piano room. It's everything that is fine arts is in that building. So we don't have the sound reverberation going from the band room to another classroom down the hallway or in the gym. So that one's wrapping up really quick. The elementary school right behind it, we've got the brick going up, all the MEP is going on the inside, the duct work is being finished, the fire sprinkler systems are being finished. I don't have any pictures of that one because there was so much activity going on in that building when I went out there to take pictures. I didn't want to get anybody's where to get hurt. So I just stood off at a distance in amazement and watched that happen. The bus maintenance facility at Oak Brook, we do have the pre-engineered metal building it has been purchased. It's on order. It will be delivered on February the 7th or 17th, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think it will be finished on the 7th and delivered on the 17th. So we're excited to get that project started. We worked with the GC, had a meeting with the GC and the design firm last week to nail down a few loose ends, and we're getting ready to start putting concrete on the ground for that one very soon. Any questions about any of that? I think Jeff's got the rest of it for us.
Good evening. We had a really busy Christmas break, but actually it was quite nice because I think I was home 3 days and my son was like, "Are you not working?" So I actually got a couple of days off, which was nice, and we don't usually get time off during breaks. Couple updates. Windsor Hill, we have a date, I think, scheduled for next week to do the final inspection with the roofing manufacturer. It's taken us a couple of weeks with the holidays to get that set up. So we'll better, finish that project up and close it out. The Gregg Middle School gym resurfacing project, that started over the break and we ran short on materials, so we are finishing it today and tomorrow. So hopefully we'll have it turned back over to the school on Wednesday. The tennis courts, so we have looked at that, and we are going to possibly use the Austin Middle School location. We're looking at it currently and seeing, if that design will work. So we're, looking at that project. So hopefully have some information on that in the next couple of months. And currently also in progress, Newington, we are putting in a playground for Miss Cubbage, filling the mulch, turning it back over to her, moving to the next one. So that's all going on currently as well. It just seems like we had a lot of problems this year as far as scheduling. The Windsor Hill HVAC replacement, got all the units put in, didn't have all the parts to do the controls, so they're all running in what you'd say contractor mode, all running just fine. And so we're going to start probably next week installing the controls. Last thing is we did quite a bit of work at Beach Hill over the break. They were actually able to relamp the entire building, all classrooms, all hallways, all that got done. So everything has been converted to LED now. We also got all of the areas that do not have a grid replacement, all the ceiling tile changed out. So that was all done in 2 weeks. Pretty large scale amount of work to be done in that little bit of time frame. And then we'll probably not pick that project up again until spring break. A little bit of work, and then the bulk of it will happen over the summer. Some upcoming projects to be aware of. I think I've seen some stuff going back and forth with procurement where we're getting our contract signed for Beach Hill and Austin Middle School's roofing projects. So hopefully we'll have kickoff meetings this month for those projects. And then Austin Middle School restroom renovation. Not a whole lot we're going to plan on doing there until the summertime, but they are awarded, and the contractor has already got a contract, I think, in place and bid bond and all that good stuff. So ready to hit the ground running as soon as June 1st gets here. And I think I saw some finalized documents should be coming back this week for Gregg Middle School's roofing and exterior envelope project. So that'll also start, I would imagine, probably sometime in March and carry out through the summer. And that's really all I wanted to update on today, but any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
The one thing I would add on the Somerville High School tennis courts, I know that's something that we've been trying to look and see how we could get that project done. If we were going to use and put the tennis courts back to where they are at Somerville High School, it's in an area where it could flood, and we just don't think that'd be a very good spot. I believe they only have 5 courts right now. It would be hard to get a 6th court in there. Moving it to Austin Middle School, we're able to use TIF dollars there where we can get 6 courts and then also lights on that. And then also what's great about that is there's already restrooms, outdoor restrooms there, and also a concession stand. So it makes sense to put that there. Half the project or a little bit more than the quarter or two is going to be paid through TIF dollars, which is very nice to be able to use that and be able to help us to get these tennis courts, before we thought we could because of the TIF, using the TIF dollars. So if we weren't able to use those TIF dollars, we wouldn't be able to get those courts. And so kudos to Jeff and Tina and the team of trying to find a location, and Mr. Farrell as well. I know they worked hard to try to figure out how to make that work because we've had some constant cracking on those courts, and sometimes they've been unplayable. And so we're excited to be able to put a plan finally together. So I appreciate them doing that. And that's all we have. The last item we have on the superintendent's report would be approval of student enrollment recommendations for 25-26 as presented in your board packet.
All right, board members, that was included in our packet, as Mr. Doherty said. Is everyone okay with proceeding in open session? All right. So then at this time, I would ask for a motion to approve the student enrollment recommendations or requests, as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Guthrie, seconded by Ms. Bates. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. All right, motion carries 6 in favor, 1 absent. Thank you, Mr. Doherty and team. Okay, next item on our agenda this evening is our public comments on non-agenda items, and these comments follow the same rules that I read earlier, so the same expectations. And this evening we have one, Mr. Christian Dubois. Did I say that correct?
Yeah, you said it correctly.
Great.
How's everybody doing? I'm sorry. It's kind of difficult because it's kind of, you want to say certain things. It's kind of, I don't want to damper certain things, but then you put stipulations on how you say it. And I just wanted to voice my opinion because I'm a parent here in this district. And I just wanted to tell exactly what transpired with me and a person that works at the district. But I didn't want to have an issue because I've actually met with the superintendent. I've met with investigators. And I wanted to have a dialogue because now that you see, I don't know if individuals see on the doors here, we have notes on the doors now saying authorized personnel only. I came in here on December 16th and I wanted to just get my 9-year-old to film me coming down the aisle. Now, I've been living in Dorchester County. I've been in my home over 23 years in Asheboro. Actually, Ms. Wilkins, when you saw that clip you had, my son's in GATE, right there. He's in the GATE program. He's actually in the same class with the assistant superintendent's child. Didn't come here for an issue, because I understand that I live here. And I don't want an issue with you. I'm not calling your name, but maybe it was a bad day that day.
Mr. Du Bois, if you would direct your comments to the board, please.
I get it. I understand that. But I just wanted him to know it. I didn't come here for that. I want to be, when people that work for the district, when you look at us, I want people to look at me, not just, some people may look at my social media and may look at rhetoric, and I get it. I do comedy. But you don't see the fact that I'm sitting in on expulsion hearings for children and families that are not articulate or maybe indigent. You don't see when I'm calling emergency hearings with some of you last year with Ashley Ridge basketball. You don't see when schools are calling me in. I own a barbershop. They call me in to cut hair for free and mentor the kids. And I do this on my own dime. So when I come in here and I'm having a conversation with someone, I don't want to be disrespected the same way you don't want me to disrespect you. And I didn't want to direct this to anyone, but this happened December 16th, and I just needed to get this off my chest, because this maybe is the only format, and I had a lot of stuff written here, but I just wanted to come off from my heart. So this may be the only format that I have to get my voice off, other than social media, but maybe you guys don't look at that, and some of my crap is just, you don't need to look at anyway. But I just wanted to wholeheartedly tell you that I felt as though I was mistreated. I'm not here to get anyone's job. I understand. I'm not insensitive. I just think that we can have a conversation. That's it. And the conversation needs to be had. And I don't want to be the angry black guy. Okay? Thank you so much for listening to what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. All right, the next item on our agenda this evening is our executive session. So board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion to convene. Board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion to convene into executive session for the purpose of hearing a student discipline appeal, as well as for the purpose of receipt of legal advice on potential litigation.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. King. Do I have a second? All right, seconded by Ms. Powell. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, then we'll proceed with a vote. Okay. Mr. Brocker, you are interrupting the business of our meeting, and so if you continue that, I will ask for you to leave. I asked respectfully. You said I could have the rest of the motion carries. 6 in favor, 1 absent. We are in executive session and we will return. All right, board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion to return to open session.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Guthrie. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. King. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries, 6 in favor, 1 absent. We are back in open session. All right, board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion for any action as required from our executive session.
Madam Chairwoman, I move that the board uphold with modification the district's recommendation that student A be placed at Rise Academy in a Tier 1 designation.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Lee. Do I have a second? Okay. Could you please repeat the motion, Mr. Lee?
Happy to. I move that the board uphold with modification the district's recommendation that student A be placed at Rise Academy in a Tier 1 designation.
All right, thank you. Do I have a second? All right, at this time, it appears we do not have a second for that motion. So do I have another motion?
Madam Chair, I move that the board uphold the district decision with modification of a Tier 2 at Rise.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Bates. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second from Mr. Lee. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. All right, so at this time, we have 3 in favor, 3 against, and 1 absent. So the motion does not carry. All right, do I have another motion?
I make a motion to uphold the student disciplinary matter.
All right, motion from Mr. Guthrie. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, seconded by Ms. Bates. Any questions or discussion?
My discussion is that I really feel like the motion that I made is a happy medium between the two that we cannot agree on. So that's what I'll just leave. I'll leave it there.
All right, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All right. We have, sorry, I'm trying to see. Thank you.
I know, I'm like, I can't see on
Okay, 3 opposed, 2 in favor. I'm sorry, 2 opposed, 2 in favor, 1 abstention. So the, okay, thank you. Thank you, I'm sorry. So the motion fails. I apologize. All right, the motion fails.
Madam Chair, I motion that the board uphold the district decision with a modification of Tier 2 at Rise.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Bates. Do I have a second?
Second.
seconded by Mr. Lee. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All right, we have 4 in favor, 2 opposed, and 1 not present. The motion carries. Okay, at this time, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Ms. Bates, seconded by Ms. Powell. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Hopefully, y'all will make this one easy for me. I'm tired. My eyes are tired, so, all right. Looks like we have 6 in favor, 1 not present. The motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.